Hello there, I am Diana, and today we will be exploring a common misconception in relationships: the idea that you can change someone by loving them. Now, isn't that a thought we've all entertained at some point? The belief that our love, our dedication, and our sheer will can mold someone into the person we want them to be. The danger, however, lies in the fact that this belief is often a trap, a pitfall that leads to disappointment, emotional damage, and even heartbreak. Let's delve deeper. Picture this: you meet someone, sparks fly, chemistry is undeniable, but there are certain traits or habits that you're not fond of. You think, well, they'll change because of me. My love will make them want to be better. But here's the hard truth: people rarely change because of others. They change because they want to, because they're ready to. This belief that love can change a person can lead to a spiral of emotional turmoil. It's like pushing against a wall hoping it'll move. The wall remains immovable and you're left feeling drained, frustrated, and hurt. It's a painful cycle, one that can leave deep emotional scars and breed resentment in relationships. Consider this: you're not just hurting yourself in this process. The person you're trying to change, they're caught in this whirlwind too. They're constantly being pushed to be someone they're not, to meet expectations that aren't in line with their true selves. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy, guilt, and a loss of identity. So the next time you find yourself hoping that your love will change someone, remember, it's often not the case. Instead, focus on understanding and accepting them for who they are. After all, love isn't about changing someone to fit your ideal. It's about embracing their imperfections and celebrating the uniqueness that makes them, them. Relationships are a dance of two individuals, each with their own rhythm, learning to move in harmony, not a quest to mold the other into a perfect partner. Remember, real love doesn't seek to change, it seeks to understand. You might be wondering why we fall into this pattern of wanting to change others. The truth is, it's a complex web spun from societal expectations, personal insecurities, and deep-seated beliefs. Many of us are brought up with the idea that love is transformative, that it can turn a beast into a prince or a frog into a king. This narrative is perpetuated by movies, literature, and popular culture. It's romantic, it's dreamy, but it's also misleading. Love is many things, but it's not a magic wand that can fundamentally alter someone's character or habits. Then there's the role of personal insecurities. Sometimes we want to change others because we're dissatisfied with ourselves. We project our insecurities onto our partners, hoping that by fixing them, we can fix ourselves. This is not only unfair to our partners, but it's also an ineffective way of addressing our own issues. Lastly, we've got those deep-seated beliefs, often rooted in our upbringing and past experiences. If you've witnessed or experienced a relationship where one person successfully changed due to the other's efforts, you might believe it's possible and even desirable. But it's essential to understand that change, if it happens, should come from within, not from external pressure. So how do we break free from this pattern? It starts with self-awareness. Recognize the signs when you're falling into this trap. Are you constantly nitpicking your partner's behavior? Do you find yourself making excuses for them, hoping they'll change in the future? Next, practice acceptance. Remember, everyone has flaws, including you. Accepting your partner for who they are doesn't mean you're settling for less. It means you're choosing to love them, warts and all. Lastly, nurture open communication. Talk about your expectations and deal breakers. Understand that it's okay to walk away from a relationship that doesn't align with your vision for a happy life. Breaking free from this pattern is the first step towards healthier relationships. Incompatibility can be a silent killer in relationships. It's the subtle differences that, left unchecked, can erode the foundations of any relationship. But how do we spot this silent destroyer? And more importantly, how do we avoid falling into its insidious trap? First off, we need to understand that compatibility goes beyond shared interests and hobbies. It's about aligning on the fundamental values, the things that truly matter to us. It's about envisioning a similar future, having the same goals, and sharing a mutual understanding of what makes a relationship truly fulfilling. So how do we spot incompatibility? It's often in the details, the way they handle conflict, their attitude towards money, their approach to work-life balance, their views on family and relationships. These are all telltale signs of compatibility or lack thereof. Notice these signs, and you'll be better equipped to avoid incompatible partners. Now, let's talk about finding someone who truly matches your vision for a happy life. It's not about finding a perfect person. Such a creature does not exist. It's about finding someone who's perfect for you, flaws and all. It's about finding someone who complements you, who brings out the best in you, who challenges you, and who's willing to grow with you. To do this, you need to know yourself first. Understand your wants, your needs, your non-negotiables. Understand what makes you happy, what makes you feel loved and appreciated. Only then can you find someone who truly aligns with your vision. Incompatibility can indeed be a silent relationship killer. But with awareness and understanding, we can spot it, avoid it, and instead seek out compatibility that fosters a healthy, fulfilling relationship. Remember, it's always better to be single than to be with the wrong person. Because at the end of the day, your happiness is paramount, and you deserve a relationship that brings joy, not strife. Acceptance, not change, is the key to successful relationships. It may seem counterintuitive, especially when we're so often told that change is a fundamental part of life. But when it comes to relationships, trying to change someone is like trying to alter the course of a river with your bare hands. Imagine this scenario. You meet someone who captivates you. They're exciting, charming, and almost perfect, except for one or two traits you think you can change. You invest your time, your love, and your energy, genuinely believing that your affection will help them transform. But as time passes, you realize that these traits are as much a part of them as their smile or the sound of their laughter. The truth is, love isn't a magical potion that alters someone's character. It's not a chisel to reshape them into your ideal version. It's a bond, a connection that thrives on acceptance. When we try to change someone, we're not really loving them. We're loving a version of them we've created in our minds, an illusion. And when reality shatters this illusion, resentment and disappointment often follow. Acceptance, on the other hand, is like a breath of fresh air. It's about understanding that we all come with our quirks and idiosyncrasies. It's about acknowledging that our partners, just like us, are imperfect. Acceptance is about embracing these imperfections, not as flaws to be ironed out, but as unique traits that make them who they are. This doesn't mean that we should accept abusive or toxic behavior, but it does mean recognizing that we can't mold people into our ideal versions. We can't expect them to shed their true selves like a snake sheds its skin, because at the end of the day, change is a personal journey. It's a path that one chooses, not one that can be imposed. So the next time you find yourself wishing someone would change, ask yourself, am I loving them for who they are, or for who I want them to be? And remember, love is about acceptance, not change. Longevity in relationships isn't always a measure of success. This sentence may seem counterintuitive, but it holds a dark truth. Many relationships survive the test of time, not because they are healthy or fulfilling, but because the people involved have learned to adopt and adapt to dysfunction. Let's delve a bit deeper into this. What do we mean by dysfunction? In the context of relationships, dysfunction refers to patterns of behavior or interactions that are harmful, either to the individuals within the relationship or to the relationship itself. It could be anything from constant arguments and disagreements, lack of communication, or even emotional, physical, or psychological abuse. These are behaviors that in isolation, most of us would recognize as unhealthy. Yet, when they become part of the fabric of a long-term relationship, they often get downplayed, overlooked, or even normalized. Over time, we might adapt to these behaviors, considering them as just part of the package. Or worse, we may adopt these behaviors ourselves, perpetuating a cycle of dysfunction. The sad truth is, many people mistake this adaptation for resilience or dedication. They wear their ability to endure dysfunction as a badge of honor, proof of their commitment to the relationship. But let's be clear here, enduring dysfunction is not the same as building a healthy, fulfilling relationship. It's like trying to build a house on a shaky foundation. No matter how beautiful the house, it's only a matter of time before the cracks start to show. So how does this dysfunction affect our relationships? Well, it erodes trust, fosters resentment, and creates an environment of constant conflict or discomfort. It can lead to feelings of being trapped or unhappy, and in severe cases, it can cause serious emotional, physical, or psychological harm. The key to breaking free from this cycle of dysfunction is recognition. Recognizing that what you are experiencing or contributing to is not healthy. Recognize that enduring dysfunction is not a testament to the strength of your relationship, but a sign that something needs to change. It's crucial to recognize and change any dysfunctional behaviors for a relationship to thrive. Because a relationship should not just be about surviving, it should be about thriving, growing, and finding happiness together. Disagreements are a part of every relationship. It's how we handle them that matters. Let's face it, no two people will always see eye to eye on everything. But this doesn't mean we have to let our disagreements become destructive. Instead, we can use them as opportunities for growth. It's all about how we approach these moments of conflict. When we disagree, it's like we're standing on opposite sides of a river. Now, we could either throw stones at each other, making the divide even greater, or we could toss over stepping stones, building a bridge that brings us closer together. Stepping stone disagreements are those where we listen, learn, and respect each other's viewpoints, even if we don't necessarily agree. In these instances, we're not trying to win a battle, but rather to understand a different perspective. These are the disagreements that foster growth. They encourage empathy, openness, and a deeper connection. On the other hand, stone-throwing disagreements are where we're more interested in proving ourselves right than in understanding our partner. These are the arguments that tear us apart. They're driven by ego, pride, and a need for control. They don't build bridges, they erect walls. The key to turning a stone-throwing disagreement into a stepping stone one lies in respect. Respect for our partner's feelings, respect for their perspective, and respect for the relationship itself. This involves active listening, acknowledging the other person's viewpoint, and expressing your own without diminishing theirs. It's about saying, "I see things differently, but I value your opinion." It's about understanding that being right is not as important as being kind. It's about recognizing that the strength of a relationship is not measured by the absence of disagreements, but by how they're resolved. Navigating disagreements respectfully doesn't mean you're compromising your values or beliefs. It simply means you're prioritizing the relationship over the need to win an argument. It means you're choosing to build bridges instead of walls. So the next time you find yourself in a disagreement, remember to toss a stepping stone, not a stone. Remember, respect is the foundation of any successful relationship. Let's look towards the future of human relationships. As we journey into the future, we are evolving from a state of unconsciousness to a more conscious and aware state in our relationships. We are gradually recognizing the importance of understanding and awareness as the pillars that hold our relationships together. In the past, many of us entered relationships with the weight of unexamined expectations and unconscious beliefs. We held on to the misguided notion that love would miraculously transform our partners into our idealized versions of them. But the future holds a different perspective. In the future, we will see relationships evolving from a place of unconscious expectations to conscious agreements. The future of relationships will be built on a foundation of mutual understanding, respect, and shared visions. It will be a place where we embrace our partners for who they are, not who we wish them to be. As we move forward, we are beginning to understand the importance of emotional intelligence in relationships. Emotional intelligence, or the ability to understand and manage our own emotions and those of others, is becoming a crucial aspect of building and maintaining healthy relationships. We are also witnessing a shift towards more open and honest communication. No longer will we suppress our feelings and needs in fear of conflict or rejection. Instead, we will express ourselves openly, knowing that our vulnerability is a strength and not a weakness. Moreover, we are recognizing the importance of personal growth and self-improvement within relationships. A relationship is not just about two people coming together, it's about two individuals growing together. This growth can only happen when we are willing to look inward, acknowledge our flaws, and make the necessary changes. As we explore these changes, we will learn to appreciate the beauty of evolving together, of understanding and accepting our partners as they are. We will learn to communicate more effectively and to embrace the conflicts and disagreements as opportunities for growth and understanding. The future of relationships will be one of conscious awareness, mutual respect, and emotional growth. It will be a future where we celebrate our individuality while cherishing our shared experiences. As we move forward, let's strive for more conscious, aware, and fulfilling relationships. As we wrap up today's discussion, let's reflect on what we've learned. We've delved into the common misconception that love can change people, and the emotional toll it can take when reality doesn't meet expectations. We've explored the importance of breaking this pattern and accepting people for who they are, rather than who we want them to be. We've talked about the dark side of long-term relationships, where dysfunction often takes hold, and the need to shift from unconscious to conscious in our dealings with each other. We've also discussed the difference between constructive disagreements and destructive arguments, emphasizing that respect is the key to navigating through any rough patch. The future of our relationships depends on these principles. Acceptance, respect, and consciousness are not just words. They're the foundation for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Thank you for joining me today. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, take care and keep striving for healthier relationships.